Good afternoon, lads and ladies. I'm Jerry Cremin, host of One for the Road and proprietor of Sullivan's Public House in the beautiful town of Oxford, Michigan. Today is our second episode of One for the Road, and I'm very excited about today's episode because I get to talk about three topics that I'm very passionate about: technology, the future of learning, and comics. So without further ado, I'm going to pan over here to Scott Steiger. Scott, welcome.
Hi, thank you.
Good to see you. Thanks for coming. We do a first
cheers.
I know you've been waiting for that beer.
I've been waiting.
It's been dwindling down a little bit. So, what did you think when I first said, Scott, will you come on a podcast?
Oh, that was nuts, man. It's like, me? Why me? Why would you want to talk to me? But my wife assured me I'm an interesting person. So
you are, for sure.
Thank
Actually,
you.
when I was going through my show notes, I was genuinely intimidated by how I was going to condense Scott Steiger into 30 minutes. Perhaps we'll just have the guys keep rolling and stuff like that, and we'll do an hour and a half version later on in life. But going through your resume, not resume, but I guess resume, but what your daily output, I guess you would call it. You are, let me see if I got this correct. You are, our main focus today will be our similar passion of the future of learning.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're the owner instructor of LOX Tech Lab, which, by the way, LOX for the guests, LOX. What
LOX.
does that stand for?
Lake Orion, Oxford.
Okay.
I'm in the Lake Orion, Oxford area primarily. It's where I love to be, so I thought it'd be great to represent that.
I'll get into this later, but you grew up here too, right?
In a way, yeah. I'm from the east side, Fraser Roseville, but we had a camper up on Horseshoe Lake that we would come to frequently. So I spent a lot of time up this way. Used to come to the comic book store. It was here. Okay. It's not here anymore.
And also, you are information technology specialist for application support for the United States Army.
That's correct.
Now, you just told me prior to shooting that you condensed that title down for me. I appreciate that. That's going to be quite the business card.
Yeah, so I don't have one.
And also, you are a host for Quizzo Detroit that we also partner with for our trivia nights.
That's right.
Actually, one thing I want to start off with, you were very specific in pointing this out, which everyone should be, because it takes a village, it takes a really big support system to pull off a family and all our obligations and stuff like that. You have 4 kids.
I have 4 children, yes. Yep, 2 boys, 2 girls.
Nice.
Yep,
That's
Jack, Max, Cora, and Julia. Julia's birthday is Sunday.
Hey guys, how's it going? That's amazing.
Yeah.
Beautiful family. And you were very, very specific reporting out nothing would be possible without your beautiful wife. What's your wife's name?
Emily.
Emily?
Yep. She is my rock.
They're the rocks for sure. Yeah, I couldn't do anything with this place without the wife, so big support. So anyway, so we're gonna get right into it. You went to school at Fraser
Graduated from Fraser High School, class of '98. So yeah, it seems like a long time ago now.
In America, to say "Go Tigers, go!" What's the mascot?
Ramblers.
Ramblers.
We are the Ramblers, the mighty Ramblers. But yeah, so yep, and then I went to school for a long time after that in college. I bounced around doing different things, not sure what I wanted to do.
Were you like the Van Wilder of Baker College?
No, because I went to a few colleges.
Okay.
I went to Macomb Community College for a while. I went to Central Michigan. I actually OU for a short semester.
Okay.
I'm just trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life.
Which is actually, that's a really nice segue there, because when we were discussing things, you said that your father was actually very instrumental in
absolutely
you zeroing in on what you wanted to do. And it was actually very simple advice, but it just resonates with everyone in every industry in all walks of age and life.
I say it's the first time I listened to my father. I was 21 or so, and I had, started school as wanting to be a teacher. That's why I went to Central for a little bit and realized pretty quickly that it's a trying task. I give our teachers so much credit because I realized pretty quickly I couldn't do it on a full-time basis. I couldn't be a teacher. I didn't have what it takes. So these teachers that are doing their amazing work. So then I thought, well, I'll go be a lawyer. I realized real quick that was boring. I didn't want to do that. And my dad looked at me one day and he said, "Why do you keep doing this? You're fiddling with these computers. Go do that. There's money there." And I'll be like, okay, why not? I enjoy it.
Advice. I mean,
right.
Look where we are in today's age.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah. So that was the first time I listened to my dad was started. And then that's when I signed up to Baker, finished my my career at Baker, my college career at Baker, I was going to school full time, working full time. So it took a lot of time, but
Now you have a BS in
computer information systems.
Okay.
So computer information management.
Okay.
It's kind of a dual business slash technology degree.
Okay.
So it's more focused on the technology, but I had business classes as well. To kind of management was kind of where I thought I was headed. I realize now I'm a techie for life. I don't want to be a manager. I want to touch.
Create,
I want to touch. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always said, like entrepreneurs too, people that code, people in the tech industry, they're always looking to create, innovate, and do big things. So, big respect for you there.
Thank you.
Sure. So, working in the military, I know I saw some snipers on the roof, so we're gonna quickly just touch on that for a second and segue, because I don't want to get into too much covert ops stuff.
Yeah,
what's a day in the life for you?
It's pretty boring. No, I mean, so I work primarily on the server side of it. I work in R&D. It's actually really interesting. We get to do a lot of innovation, which is what's driving me right now. As many people know, the Army's looking to go to the cloud. So I'm actually was just asked to kind of head that project a little bit, which is pretty interesting, pretty fun, and as always learning, right? So I'm actually learning new things. I've not really worked in the cloud yet, so I'm learning Azure and I'm learning containers and Docker, and it's pretty cool. So actually, I'm actually shifting from more of an application server administration role into a somewhere in the middle developer / application server administrator. So.
Now, is a lot of your work remote based? Do you work from home a lot?
A little bit here and there, but I'm mostly in the office. Okay. It's easier when we've got it. We're getting there. We're getting to a point where I can work from home more. Yeah, hopefully. I'd love to work from home more. Use my office and.
You know what? I don't know if I could. I don't know if I have the. It's just. I don't know if it's because I'm just focused on having 2 kids now, and it's hard to even do a schedule with 28 people.
Sure.
Versus trying to write code for the military. I don't know if I'd be able to.
Just gotta lock yourself in a room.
Yeah.
Be alone. But
exactly.
But I actually love being home when I can, because I do a lot. So when I can be home with my kids, it's great.
Yeah. That's awesome. So we're gonna dive into, I guess, the big calling. And one thing that is the reason I'm passionate about it is because I love technology, and I see where the future is going, and you have a major part to play in that. I feel for the area. So you started a company called LOX Tech Lab, which is stands for like Roy in Oxford. And I did some research into your Facebook page and stuff, which will be in the show notes, so everyone can check it out.
Please do.
But this is, I'll start off actually with this quote by, I was mentioned to you earlier, but I didn't break it out, but I thought it was a perfect quote to really hammer into the people that are watching on how important this is going to be for the future and how everyone should get into it. So Diane Gerson, who's the IBM Human Resources Chief Human Resources Officer for IBM. So,
pretty big deal.
Yeah, pretty big deal. She said, and I quote, and I pulled it off the web last night, so it's got to be true. I think coding will become what typing was for the baby boomer generation. Something everyone ends up doing when they grew up thinking it could be just relegated to a few experts. So that's huge. That's basically saying, back in the day where typing was relegated to a few, and now coding is going to be what that was.
And that's why I created LOX Tech Lab. My main goal for what I'm doing is to get not just coding, but computer science as a whole into the hands and into the minds of our youth. So my classes are geared towards 1st through 6th grade. So I want them to be able to touch and feel and see technology.
Now, for our international viewers, because someone says 1st through,
right.
Just in case my mom's watching or something, So 1st grade is what age?
7. Okay. So like 7 to 12.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I know when we first started discussing your venture and how excited, I was genuinely excited and moved for you, and I was pumped. But so the 7-year-olds, how are they taking? Like, what's a class? Like, what would a 7-year-old be able to take away from day one?
Amazingly a lot. I'm amazed by what 7-year-olds can do. The technology that I use is visual based, so they don't need to know how to type. Actually, they don't need to know how to read.
Okay.
All they need to know is colors and shapes.
Okay.
And how to drag and drop.
Nice.
And it's really teaching the fundamentals of coding and the fundamentals of processing and thinking. In fact, we actually play a lot of games as well. We do a lot without the computers. At the same time, when we play Programmer Says, it's a big hit with the kids. It's just Simon Says, but with programmers, because it gets the thought process of, in order to program something, a programmer needs to tell a computer what to do. So if the programmer doesn't tell the computer exactly what to do right, the computer can't do it. So Programmer Says jump up and down. You can jump up and down.
Have intuition.
Exactly. Exactly. So it gets that concept into their minds, and so even at 7, a 7-year-old can completely understand the concept of Simon Says, right? So it's there.
It's amazing because
you're
teaching them stuff too that we're at home with our kids. We're instructing them what to do to go from A to B, to clean your room, to whatever. But so they're also with you having fun, and you're also showing them how to follow instructions as well. So it's a continuous mentorship.
That's a great point that I'd like to try to point out to parents, is that my classes aren't just how do you code, what's computer science. It's so many life skills that are involved as well. It's teaching cooperation, working together. We do peer coding, so they're working in teams. They're not off by themselves. It's cooperation, working. It's so much more than just a technical skill, which is great too, right? So that's what I really would like people to get out of it, that it's not just this technical skill that can be used to turn into a career, really. And that would be my ultimate goal, would be to see some of these kids turn into computer scientists. How amazing would that be?
That'd be amazing.
That would be amazing.
So for me, I've done some coding. It's probably disrespectful to say I'm in front of you, but we're drinking, so it's okay. But I dabbled in, but I've done some Python, and I also, for I guess, to parlay my learnings to my daughter, I started getting into Swift.
Swift is good.
So have you?
Swift is good. I don't do a lot of Swift. Similarly, I do Scratch, which is very similar. It's block coding. And like I said, it's drag and drop.
That's what I was. What I was drawn to with Swift was that it's, as you said, it's color coordination. They use characters like animals and monsters, and you go from A to B and try to get to Z. So, I absolutely love what you're doing.
Well, thank you. I love what I'm doing, which is, I think, more important.
It's true. I mean, as they say, the cliche, do what you love and you never work a day in your life.
Right.
But I do want to, your mission is to encourage all ages to understand some aspect of computer science and continue to learn. The key there is all ages.
All ages, absolutely.
It's, for people, people like me, I'm sure you do some course that's a little further in where I could jump in and not.
I'd like to get there. I'm not offering anything so I'm really focusing on elementary school or grade 7 or 1st through 6. But I have been working on a middle school course as well that would involve more not block coding. We'd be doing more maybe Android. So some web apps. Coding would be better.
Like Java?
Java, HTML. I'd love to do that. I'm developing a course. I haven't had a whole lot of interest from the middle schoolers, so haven't gotten there yet, but I think we will. Yeah, I absolutely think we will.
Now, you mentioned there about the adults and the age and stuff like that, but we think it's important to get it out there to everyone that I'm not fully on board, or not on board, but I'm not fully confident that our education system right now has the requirement that I think the future needs of learning how to code and.
So I'll just say this: Michigan is on the right track. Michigan and Ohio, I know for sure, have implemented in the school systems that computer science will be a curriculum, which is amazing. It's an amazing first start. The problem is now we need to train our teachers, right? So that's something I would love to be a part of, and one of my main goals long term would be to help incorporate computer science into the classroom. I think every single classroom from K through 12 would benefit from computer science. So you think
there's an opportunity for, say, Scott Steiger to develop LOX Tech Lab and also almost be an entity where the local schools subcontract.
That would be amazing.
Services.
Yeah,
Obviously,
absolutely.
you have to go through all these clearances and
Right.
whatnot. But
Right.
But yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that's a vision I see. I've thought of, and I'd love to train teachers, to teach, because that's the thing when I'm doing this computer science classes, the clubs I do, we are doing math, we're doing social studies, we're doing art. We're not just doing coding. Like my kids are doing English because they're doing stories. We're making stories, we're making games, but we're also making art. It's really amazing.
I think this is a perfect segue into.
Oh.
I believe you brought a prop.
I brought some toys. Yeah.
Now for our audio listeners, they won't be able to really see what's going on, but for our visual, our tens of people that will be watching this will be able to see.
But
I make that joke every time. Hopefully, we'll eventually get to thousands.
No, we'll get there. You'll get there for sure. One thing that we do is we use these microbits, and these are little circuit boards, and they have little LED lights on them. These actually were coded by some of my students this summer at our summer camp.
How old were the students that coded this?
These were children between the ages of I think they were 7 to 11.
That's
7
awesome.
to 11.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, my daughter is going to be 7 in November, and the idea of her being able to code something and actually create something.
Well, that's the thing. Coding on a computer and seeing it happening is great with Scratch. But this, you're creating the code, you're downloading it to the microbit board. These are great. If you look at the back, it tells you all the components. So it's not just the coding. It tells you there's where the processor is. You can see that, the accelerometer. But this is cool because what we did was we made, using block code again, rock, paper, scissors.
Okay.
So this is rock, paper, scissors, and it works with the shake. So rock, paper, scissors, shoot. And there's my scissors. So
awesome.
you would have yours, I would have mine. Ready?
So,
Ready?
okay.
Shoot.
Scissors.
Scissors, scissors.
Scissors.
One again. Now it's all random, right? So you got scissors again. I got rocks. I crushed.
I think of that as paper.
No, paper. Hold on, I'll get you paper. That's paper. That's paper. So you get paper.
Okay.
But the point here is, so they made these and they had so much fun making them, but they have more fun playing with them. It broke out into a rock, paper, scissors tournament.
It's addictive.
It's really cool. And what's cool is with these is there's actually, they can radio frequency talk to each other.
Okay.
So a higher level.
Like a near field communication kind
Yeah. And at a higher level, we could code them to talk to each other, and we could have a tournament that said, oh, this person wins. It's pretty cool. It's really cool.
Amazing.
So yeah, but those are just, it's fun. We have fun, really.
Listen, Christmas is coming soon. I hate to freak everyone out.
These are so cheap. These are so
No,
cheap.
Your course.
Oh, my course. That's great too.
Get the kids in there. That's awesome.
I'll help teach them. Bring them to the course. I do invite them. If you have things like this at home that you bought for Christmas, let's be honest. We're parents. We're not doing it. We don't have time to always to sit. Yeah, exactly. I'm a computer science nut, and I've got robots, and that's kind of what kicked this off. Is I have robots, and you can code them. It's great. It's fun. It's so hard to find time with your kids to do that stuff because you got dance and sports and everything else going on. So I always tell parents, bring them in. We'll play with them. We'll make use of them. So it's something. We have fun. We do have so much fun.
I mean, I went through. I sent you a pre-interview questionnaire because just to get us on the right track. But you said one of the greatest experiences you had in your job, in your career, was recently during one of your classes.
Absolutely.
Well, tell me a little bit what happened there.
So it was the end of my first 8-week class, and I really just wanted to get some feedback from the kids. And what did you like? What didn't you like? What can we do different? So I asked them, what did you like? Of course, they all said, I love playing the robots. The robots were so much fun, right? Who doesn't love playing with the robots? And then I said, okay, well, here's a harder question. What didn't you like? And I thought, oh, here we go.
Exactly.
This is going to be.
It's
I hated doing all the sitting and listening.
It's like,
exactly. They had nothing. And then one of the younger kids spoke up and he said, I hate that it's over and I have to go. It really touched my heart. It felt so great that they were enjoying it so much they didn't want it to be over. So I said, well, we'll just do it again in the fall. And I actually ended up, because of that, setting up a summer camp. And I ran a summer camp this summer, which was something I did not expect to do. But we had so much fun in those 3 half days that It was amazing. So, and then we're going to be back in the fall. We're going to be doing some, and I do it through Parks and Rec, which I partner with the Parks and Rec because I just think, like I've said, is I want it to be accessible, and I think through the Parks and Rec we can do it in an accessible and affordable way. So that's why the Parks and Rec are amazing. They are great to work with. Oxford Parks and Rec, we're going to have a fall session starting in September, and then we've got a couple of other ones that I'm working on with Chesterfield Parks and Rec and Fraser Parks and Rec. So I kind of went back home for Fraser, and then I met some people and they asked me.
Where it all began.
Yeah, that's right. So and that's been great.
So obviously on paper, one of the reasons I wanted to do this audiovisual podcast was to speak to leaders in industry that I respect and love, and feel like any viewers or listeners can learn something, take something from it. I mean, if we can impart knowledge and someone learns something, it's a win for sure. So one thing would be everyone can't hear all the rosy stories, all the perfect stories. Because on paper, it's like it's like a Disney or a Lifetime channel positive one.
Oh no!
But
not.
Can you share a time where there was a particular difficult time for you, and how you got past it, and what you learned from it, and what lessons you think by communicating this?
We can stay talking about LOX, because when I started LOX, I registered the name and everything. It was ready to go last fall, and so I had contacted some Parks and Recs, and we were setting up some classes for the winter. We had all these classes ready to go, and I had 0 students. And
how long was it out there before?
Months.
Okay.
Months. Yeah, months. We had it months. It was so discouraging for me because I knew what I had was special. I knew what I had was important, and I thought no one wants to do this. We'll just quit. My wife was the one who said it is. She's like, well, why give up? Why quit? You're gonna just quit? And I said, no, we're not gonna quit. So we just revamped things a little bit. Just reworked how we were offering the courses and talked to the Parks and Rec departments, like how can we do things. We offered some free classes so that people could see what it was. Part of the problem is nobody's really doing what I'm doing. There's a few other people out there, but nobody's really doing it the way I'm doing it.
So you'd almost have to ticket tape parade it.
So people need to understand what I'm doing, right? So I offered a couple of free courses, a free day, come in and check it out, see what it's all about. And that was really helpful. That actually helped people understand. So now I'm hoping more word of mouth and more people, these kids are going and they can go tell their friends how much fun they're having, and we'll go from there.
That's a big thing is you touched on there is perseverance, because especially with you and your schedule. I mean, you have a beautiful wife, four children, you've got a beautiful home, you've got your full-time job with the Army, you've got a host of the Quizzo Detroit. I mean, you're not in need or in want of anything additional.
No, I didn't need to do this.
Yeah, exactly. So this should tell people that the person that's, in my opinion, and I know you for a while, so I vouch for you, is that the person that is going to be educating my child is passionate, has a high level of perseverance, and genuinely sees this mission as a life changer. So kudos to you.
Thank you. Another thing, I got a really nice email from a mother who happens to be a teacher, and she emailed me just to let me know, that she was in the room when she saw her son struggling, and she saw how I was able to kind of help him persevere.
Help him navigate.
Yeah, and I got a super nice email from her. It was so nice to get that, feedback. Just, it's nice to hear sometimes, right? Yeah. So, and it makes me feel like I'm doing what I should be doing with that. So that's I think important to me. It was important to me to get that, and that was pretty soon after. That was the first class after nobody signed up. So to get that was reassuring to me to say, okay, you know what, this is what I should be doing. That's
awesome.
Yeah.
So we're going to jump in here. We're going to just jump around a little bit. So get away from the seriousness. We'll have a little fun now. Trivia.
Oh yeah.
How did you? We'll touch on this briefly, but I'll give you one. I'll have one question for you with trivia.
Yeah.
Can you name a time that was just absolutely outrageous that you were hosting a trivia night? It can be funny. It can be just like I had to ask a guest to leave.
No, no. I have the best players when I do it because they love me and I love them, right?
It's a good follow. Okay.
No, I do. The people who I've always hosted for have been great. The most amazing thing that's ever happened to me was I was hosting trivia and the lights went out with 2 rounds to go.
Oh no!
The emergency lights came on in the bar, and we continued. We grabbed a Bluetooth speaker, plugged somebody's phone into that for music.
That's honestly. And
I hosted by flashlight.
That's awesome.
When the lights
great. Go out, they're some of the most fun memories.
They told us we had only so long before they told us we had to get out. But we finished the trivia, and it was fun. It was really fun.
All right, we're going to go into a bit of a quick fire round. So I do have a gift for you. So Marvel or DC?
Primarily DC. Yes, their movies aren't as good. So Marvel movies, but I always grew up as a DC fan. Grew up as a Superman, Green Lantern. Yeah, so Flash.
I want to give you this then. This is The Secret Empire number 0.
Nice.
I bought 2 copies. One is yours now. This is
thank you.
Captain America. After all his time, 80 plus years, I think it is. Turns out he's a spy for
Hydra.
That's
right.
So
I know this story. I've not read it. Thank you. I appreciate that.
No problem. All right, so we're going to go to a little bit of quick fire here.
Okay.
Tattoos. Any tattoos?
I do. I have a tattoo of a Voltron lion that starts. His tail starts here and it goes about halfway down my back. That's it.
Did you do it on purpose?
I did. My friend drew it.
Okay.
I planned it. We went to the tattoo parlor together and I got it done. It's the only one. I was 21. My mom was mad, but it happened.
Yeah, I joke nobody knows this, so I can't believe I'm sharing it. But when I was really young, I was 16. I got my name tattooed in Chinese writing, and I was joking that it probably says chicken fried rice or something like that. But anyway, I won't tell you where it is. So some quick fire questions, and we're almost gonna have to wrap it up.
Okay.
Favorite food?
Oh, I like food. All kinds of food. Thai, Indian. I don't have a favorite. I'll eat anything that you put in front of me that's delicious.
All right. Favorite alcoholic drink? You said to me that I said to you Coke or Pepsi, and you're like, Jerry, best reply. Nobody has a rum.
You don't have a rum and Pepsi. No,
so Coke
no.
It is.
Rum and Coke. Yeah, that's right.
All right. I like to ask this question. Other people have different iterations of the question. It's like there's the billboard or whatever. If you had the ability to project one sentence, a motto or a line on the moon for the entire population of the world to see, what would it say?
Do not give up.
Do not give up?
No, donut.
No, what?
Donut.
Donut give up?
Yeah.
I love it. Love it. This is the second episode.
You get it. You get what I'm saying, but right?
Yeah, exactly. That's awesome. So any advice for the next interviewer to come on this show? Or interviewee? Or
by eating? No. It was so much fun. I had so much fun doing this with you. I, again, was amazed and honored that you contacted me to do this.
No, it's
so
awesome.
Much fun. Thank you so much.
Genuinely feel passionate and invested in you and what you're doing in your venture with LOX Tech Lab. And
thank you.
As I said, whatever I can do. We have 16,000 followers on Facebook. We'll blast it out there for you
thanks.
And it starts shaping. Actually, there's one thing I do want to touch on before we end is the future of education. I wanted to mention there's a school called Lambda. I don't know if you've heard of it.
No.
But I know everybody and a lot of people that go to college in America, they start getting in a lot of debt, right off the bat. But Lambda School is worth checking out. There's no fees until you get a high-paying job, and that's when you start paying off.
That's great.
So it's really a good school to check out. And it just kind of inspired me from what you're doing. So from me, Jerry Cremin, Scott Steiger, One for the Road. Thank you everyone for listening, watching, and hopefully I didn't bore you too much and you're still awake. All right, Scott,
Jerry,
thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you so much.
Thank you so much.